Hey guys, it's Amanda back here with a new video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I decided to film a Valentine's Day look for all of you. I know the holiday is just around the corner and I know it can be so stressful trying to figure out what you want to do for your makeup and all that good stuff. So this is a very easy tutorial. It only took me about 15 minutes. I decided to film this pretty girly yet very sultry and soft look for that special day. A coppery smoky eye with a pop of color on the lips. I'm very excited to share these products that I use with you today. So if you're interested in learning how I achieve this look, keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future videos and like this video if you enjoyed watching it. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the very first thing I do is I fill in my brows. I'm going to be using the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit in shade number 6. This is one of my favorite brow pencils. I love how precise and thin the tip is, and that it also comes with a spoolie brush on the opposite end, which makes everything really easy. So I just like to brush my brows up and be able to see the little areas that are sparse and then lightly fill them in. I don't like to fully draw on my brow because generally I have a pretty full brow as it is, so I just fill in the areas that are kind of peeking through and you can see that it has a little bit of like holes in it. So I usually start at the end of my brow, work my way up to the front towards the center of my face, and the lighter strokes you use the better. You don't want them coming out too harsh. And always make sure you keep brushing them out because that'll allow the more feathered effect. It'll move around the product and won't make it look harsh. I'm going to prep the skin using the Ole Henriksen Sheer Transformation. This is one of my favorite moisturizers. It's very lightweight, so I apply it all over, give it a nice base for later on my primer and my foundation. Now starting with the eyes, I'm using the Benefit Stay Don't Stray primer in the color light medium. This is definitely a favorite eye primer of mine. I've tried so many and this is the one I always keep coming back to. I just apply it evenly and it gives you like a blank page to start your eyeshadow work on. And then make sure you always blend it out seamlessly. You don't want any harsh lines. Make sure you work a little bit quicker with this product because it does dry. So you want to make sure you apply it nice and evenly all over the lid area. And here I'm just doing the underneath the eyes because I'm going to be doing the complete eye look and then my face. So you want to make sure you don't forget that under eye area. To set that primer, we're going to be using a translucent powder. This one is from Chanel. And just lightly dusting it over the areas that I applied the primer so that later on when we go on there with color, it doesn't get blotchy or spotting or anything like that. It's going to go on very seamlessly and it's going to make your blending a lot more easier. For the eyes, this is the Tarteist Pro Palette from Tarte Cosmetics. Love this. We're going to go into the warmer tones, so I'm using the color Innocent at the very top of the palette and applying this into my crease and lightly blending it out to give us a nice warmer base. To warm up our crease a little bit more and deepen it, we're going to use the color Whimsy. This is like an orangey shade. We're going to apply that with a little bit of a small fluffy blending brush right into the crease. I'm not pulling that one up as high as I did with the very first color. As you can see, it's kind of being a lot more controlled. That's going to give us that nice gradient effect. Now before I move on any further with the eyes, I just want to make sure I'm doing the same steps on the very bottom. So I have a little pencil brush here and I'm applying the first shade Innocent that we applied also in the crease. And then I'm going to do the little warmer shade Whimsy also right over top to bring that color all the way down to the bottom of the eye. Now getting into the deeper tones, this is Smoked. It's a nice chocolatey brown and I'm applying that strictly into the outer corners of the eye. This is going to give that deeper smoky effect that we're trying to achieve for this look. And I'm repeating the very same thing at the bottom with that same smoked shade. Now to the fun part, I'm going to use a little bit of Fix Plus and spray my brush. This is a synthetic brush, and I'm going to go into the palette and use the color Ethereal. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we're going to go right in. It's such a beautiful bronzy gold color, and that's going to be the base for our shimmers. So we're going to apply that evenly. These shadows are so creamy, you guys. The video, I mean, it looks pretty creamy on the video too, but in real life, you have to swatch this to see how beautiful it looks. To add a little bit more color and sparkle, I decided to go in with Stila Comex Copper. This is their Magnificent Metal Eyes collection. I'm using my finger and applying it right on top of that gold shade we just put down. It's gonna give it that nice, really sparkly, foily effect. And that's pretty much for the eyes. I'm using the Mary Luminizer. This is a beautiful highlighter. I'm gonna apply that right underneath my brow bone to give it a little bit more of a pop. I would normally be putting lashes on, but I just got my lash extensions done yesterday by my amazing lash specialist, Sydney. If you guys don't follow her, I will link her down below. She's amazing. Moving on to skin, this is the Becca Cosmetics Backlight Priming Filter. It is a luminous primer. It looks really, really beautiful. I'm about to show you. You need a little bit, goes a really long way. So you just apply that all over your face. Look how beautiful that shine is. I absolutely love it. It looks really pretty. It peeks through the foundation, and it really does the job to keep the foundation in place. So that's most important. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Iconic London Pigment Stick in 1.1. I have been so impressed with the Iconic London products. I have been trying them for the past few months now, and they've definitely made it into my professional kit for my clients as well as my own for myself. This foundation stick is a medium to full coverage. I do sheer it out using one of the Iconic London's Evo brushes, which is the one you see here. It's nice and flat. It really shears out the foundation, makes it look really, really natural, like you're not even really wearing anything, which is what I love. Another Iconic London product, as you can see, I have hit pan. I love this cream palette. This is their multi-use contouring set. It has an amazing formula. It stays on all day, and the colors are just beautiful. They're not too yellow, not too pink, very, very neutral, and it's perfect for my skin tone. And I feel like there's so many variation in these colors that it will match really anyone. The contour shades blend really seamlessly, which I know is sometimes a really big problem when you're trying to learn how to contour using cream colors, because it could be a little bit more trickier using creams than powders, but this palette has made it really, really easy. Definitely look into trying their formula. I'm using the Beauty Blender to blend out all of those areas. Make sure you don't swipe the blender, you just pat it down because you don't want the cream to bunch up. But once it dries, it is there to stay. This is makeup that you can wear from morning all the way through night without having to touch up. Now for the contour, I'm using the bottom left shade. It's a cool tone, but then it also has some warmth in it, so it's a really, really beautiful color for contouring. I'm just going to evenly apply this color using an Evo brush, and then I'm going to blend it all out nicely using a damp beauty blender. Same thing here, make sure you do not swipe the beauty blender, but you're constantly tapping it in place exactly where you want your contour. The contour definitely can be a lot more trickier than the highlight area because you don't want the dark color to look blotchy, which can sometimes happen. So make sure you're careful and try to blend it as seamlessly as you can. Once I'm done blending out the cheekbones, I like to take whatever is kind of left over on the blender and bring it around my forehead and kind of warm up the face. And then I'll use it kind of around my nose areas as well to do the same. You want to make sure you set your under eyes and your highlighted areas. So I'm going to use my Chanel translucent powder. I love this powder because it's really ultra fine. It's not too drying, so no matter how much of this you apply, the moisture will kind of be absorbed, and then the rest of it will just kind of fall off and won't sit on the skin for that too dry, too powdery effect, you know? So if you're a fan of more luminous and glowy kind of makeup like I am, try this Chanel powder. It is a bit pricey, but I can definitely say it's really worth it. It looks beautiful in photography as well. So I go a little bit more heavier underneath the eyes, and then I kind of brush it around my face in the high points, kind of like on my forehead, down my nose, and around my mouth. I let it sit for a minute, and then I'm going to dust it off using a little fan brush. Whatever is left kind of on the brush, I move it all around my face. That contour color underneath will also can be set using this powder, so I just lightly run it through those areas as well. I like to warm up my face with a blush first, so this is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush. This is the color Flesh and Fantasy. It's a light flesh of color, so it's not too pink, not too peachy. It's just kind of like a nice tan. For my bronzer, I'm going to be using the Nars Laguna bronzer. And I'm not going crazy with this because I don't want to look too tan today. I am very, very pale. It is winter. It is cold. I haven't seen the sun in months. Basically telling you guys I need a vacation. But I'm just applying this kind of underneath my cheekbones, right where I had applied the contour to kind of intensify it a bit. And then I like to put it underneath my nose and kind of warm up that area as well. Something I've been recently doing is applying it from my eyeshadow through my temples. I really love this effect because it kind of makes it look like the eyeshadow is always, it's like continuous. It just never stops. It kind of gives that nice effect. So I really love that. So I've been kind of doing that, working it all the way into my hairline. Now for my highlighter, I'm going to be using the Becca Cosmetics Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. Just applying that to the high points of my cheekbones, underneath my brows, tips of my nose, just kind of giving my face a nice glow. For mascara, I'm using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. I do have my lash extensions on, so I'm not going to apply it to the top lashes, just the bottom ones. And then for my lipstick, this is my favorite red lip. It's such a beautiful color. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's not red, it's not pink. Like, I don't know. It's just gorgeous. This is my favorite Anastasia Beverly Hills Kathryn liquid lipstick. This is the final look. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and I hope you guys all have an amazing Valentine's Day. All right, guys, till next time.